And we should now be live. Hello, everyone. Just going to check that everything is working correctly. Apologies if you can hear the fan in the back, but it is Oh, typical Logitech. Reset everything. Lucky I checked. Yeah, apologies if you can hear the fan in the back, but it has been a bloody hot day today. So, desperately needed. Hello, Kairu. Hello, Rob and Basti, if you're still here. How are you guys doing? Sorry. So, today's task is to rebuild a park that I actually built in Jurassic World Evolution 2. If you bear with me, I'm just going to bring it up on screen. Let's have a look. This park. This was my Jurassic World Evolution 2 species and mod testing park. I built it specifically just in order that whenever a new species or new mod or new update dropped, it was easy to go and get footage of the animal and stuff like that for doing videos on. And it turned out to be a park I was actually quite pleased with how it turned out in the end. So I thought today we would start with rebuilding this particular park of mine. And because it's going to be a park that I keep for some time, this particular build is going to be one of those that we start by just placing down, the non-modular stuff. We use the pre-builds. And as time goes on, we'll build new modular pieces for it until, in the end, we have a completely unique map. That is the idea, because this is going to be the sort of thing we keep around for years. Kyrie's been doing some Monster Hunter ideas. Rob is tired because he's been modular building for hours. And hello, Big Al. So, I've already started with the same map. This is Northwest USA, and I've already laid out roughly where the lagoon was, where the aviary was, and where the land-based terrestrial area was. And I spent some time earlier on, working on doing this nice little waterfall area in the back, just to, have something nice over here. And yeah, we're just going to get started. So I think the first thing we'll do is we will put in the rough layout of the water. So the water essentially wrapped around the side, and that'll give us an indication of how much room we've got to work on with, basically. I've already decided that I would like the area where everyone is going to be. I'm going to raise it up above ground level. I want it to be elevated. And I'd also quite like to try to find a way to use some of the Rebirth DLC pieces in this particular build. Now, I'm not going to have it wrap all the way around because I want there to be a pathway for vehicles. So this is actually going to stop about here, pretty much. We are going to wrap this around that way just to have like a little tributary. Do I want to do that? Actually, no. We'll get rid of that. We'll keep the water where it is. But like I say, I want to use some of the Rebirth pieces for this particular map. including like the wall sections, the dam pieces, because I think some of them are quite cool. Let's have a look at those actually. Where are they? I think they're just in walls, right? Yeah, so these are all really cool. I really like these dam pieces, and I really like these pieces as well, which they use to lay along the side of the water on the rebirth map. And I was pondering maybe doing something with the edge of the map, so like having our own like wall on this side and then fill it in on the other side with like a perimeter wall. So I don't want to do it on this side, obviously, because this side is where the dinosaurs will come in and out. I did ponder about turning this into a dam, but I actually quite like the idea of keeping it as a waterfall. But I'm wondering maybe we could do like a dam over here. In any case, I want to raise this central landmass up, so... You're enjoying the Desmatasuka, Skyro? Well, that's good. I mean, as much as, you know, I have my problems with the DLC, I am glad that people are enjoying the DLC. No, I didn't go and buy it, but I'm glad people are enjoying it. I just wish people... I wish more people were willing to take a stand against Frontier, really. But that's just me. Hello, Corey. And you're not very late. We've literally just started, and this is going to be a relatively slow build. I do think I want to shift this slightly. I think it needs to be closer to that side. Nice. Now then. Obviously, for the hatcheries, what we'll do is we'll slope the terrain for them. And we'll build, like, some pretend ramps. But that's a decent enough area for our base facilities. And we'll put the facilities in, roughly, and then we'll figure out now. Helicopters facility to start with. And we don't have a helicopter arrival point that is remotely facility-esque. Look at that. This might be a workshop-y job then. Exclude Crocodilia Coast. That's very ugly. That's a bit too bland. That's a bit too big. Ooh. Oh, that's the base game one. I've missed something. Hello, Nicholas. I have no interest in the end of Oak Street, but I did see a headline for a review today that basically said that it was not very good and that it was tired and you know, the AI dinosaur slop rumors that surround it. So yeah, I'm pretty much not particularly interested in End of Oak Street. Has no one built a decent facility style? That's a little better. Maybe not. Good God. No one rebuilt the actual DFW one. Oh, that's quite nice. Ooh. Hello. I quite like that. I want to. Can I see you? You. I mean, I'll keep that just for future use. That's it's just got rid of it, hasn't it? Good damn. Would you rather have sexual dimorphism and juveniles for the evolution 1 and 2 variants, or the ability for small carnivores to clean the teeth of larger carnivores? I don't really think the two of those are remotely similar. Ooh, there are some good ones here. You know what? I think I'll go with that for now. For now, we'll go with this. Now, that's interesting. Are we still on? We are not on. So the angle snap for this map is not very nice. It was roughly center. It was in my first build, so there we go. We have our entrance building. Not bad. Will be replaced eventually. The plan is to try to use as many facility bits as possible. Now, where are the pictures I took? So, from the entrance, let's just draw it out. So, if we turn it that way up. So there was a hatchery in this corner. There was a diagonal there. There was a diagonal here. There was a hatchery on this corner. There was a power plant here. Science roughly there. There was staff rooms here and here. And there was a ranger there. And then there was another hatchery next to it. But I think we'll only have the 2 hatcheries. Just to save on a bit of space. And then you had, obviously, viewing galleries and towers and shit like that around. So that's the rough layout. Okie dokie. Whoop. So I think what the first thing we'll do is we'll pick a hatchery. I think we need to pick a hatchery because the rest of the build is kind of built around that. Now, the only thing I don't like about these hatcheries is they're so long. The ones I actually used with the old were the DFW ones, and they were like they were wider. They didn't have the length. That's one heck of a rambit ones, isn't it? It is quite a ramp. And you will not allow me to smooth that exit portal. Interesting. So maybe to do what I want to do, I think we may have to alter the design slightly. So I do want there to be some like down ramps for things to walk out. So I think what we're gonna have to do is place the hatchery like a bit further back so we can have its exit area and then create the ramp for it. So let's instead let's have it let's have it there. Where is the actual... Is that the end of it there? Why does it need so much space, honestly? That's literally the... Nope, too wide. Not quite what I asked you to do, computer. Kind of wanted a... Already, my idea for what I want this to look like has been harmed by the fact that these hatcheries want so much space to release a dinosaur with. It's honestly really annoying. I'm also very frustrated that the snap angles on this map are not what I imagined them to be. What if we put it... We're not going to have that bottom hatchery, so we can move the ranger station across a I hate the terrain system in this game. Just never feels like the terrain is working with you. The terrain always feels like it's working against you. Okay. So that's the edge of the much vaunted hatchery release area. Yeah, exactly, Corey. Exactly. Tumbleweed, it's not specifically a DFW facility. I mean, that was the building set that I went with when I first built it, was the DFW facility set. But, that's not what I wanted you to do. How do I still do not understand how this ramp system works. I couldn't figure it out at the event. That's... Honestly, that wasn't too far off, but it needs to be wider. I want to be able to put proper side areas on it. That's more like it. Okay. Although that hatchery is still not straight, is it? It's because I didn't build the... It's because the ramp isn't straight. Oops. I've just realized building what I want to without the snap angles being correct is going to be a pain in the ass. Because if I want to... Because the snap angles are off on this map. It's going to be such a pain. I do... Why have they changed the snap angles on this particular map? Okay, that is manageable. That I can manage. What I do need to do is make some more space in here. Okay, let's grab a ranger. So the ranger station is probably like the next biggest. I actually quite like the engine one. I just wish it wasn't... I feel like the engine one is really badly designed because it's like everything has to come out the back. Let's see if there's some better ones. Hello, Goofy Goof. Fletcher, what is your favorite map? Evolution 1. It was... Ooh. I was about to say I kind of like that, but then I don't understand why he's put a bunch of buses there. And a bunch of canoe. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Interesting design, ruined by the decoration. Evolution 1, it will... I told you not to put Crocodilia... For Evolution 1, it was probably... Isla Pena, actually. It was probably Isla Pena was my favorite. Not because I thought it was a particularly good map, but because I happen to enjoy the challenge. This is too much all mashed together. As good as it is, it's just too much mashed together. Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's a little trickier. Another one that's all mashed together. Interesting. Oh. Kind of interesting idea. Evolution 2, I'm going to go and say that I think my favorite was... wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't really suit the style for this particular map, but I do like that one. Grab that one. Just really don't like this menu. This menu just does not work in the way that I want it to. Evolution 2. I think it was probably San Diego. San Diego or Canada. Actually, I think Canada is quite a nice map, actually. A decent one. That's just the base game one. With a... I don't even know what you've done there. For Evolution 3, I don't think I have a favorite yet. I want one that fits in with this facility feel. Ooh. That's kind of cool. If we just kind of... I am pondering, perusing. Okay, what if... Then I'm thinking, what if we remove the rocks? Put in like a dam. We could easily dam that off with concrete. So we'll go with that one. I quite like that. Power plant and another hatchery. So Had another hatchery and it was basically here. Again, really don't like how annoying and large these hatcheries are. Why do these hatcheries feel so much larger than they used to? Is there another design? I didn't want to be using the workshop this much in this part of the build, but I'm like, I can't. All these buildings are shit. Has someone rebuilt the DFW one? It's way too big. Ah! See, that's what I mean. I think I might just use the folks who've remade all the DFW style ones for the time being. Yes. Okay, so that needs to kind of come out. Kind of there. Kind of there. I feel like I don't have as much room as I used to. Buggerations. If I put that there, is that going to throw his... It did throw a little bit of hissy fit, but not much. Stop changing the map's land, please. Right. And let me guess, this one demands the entirety of that. Yes, it does. Okay, fine, but why won't you smooth this off properly? You see that? It just creates that little lump there, and I'm like, why? Why? There's no need for that lump. Just smoothing it. Just smooth it. Cutting off that corner. That we're keeping straight. This we're keeping straight. We need a science center. I actually think I am going to use the rebirth one for this. Unless I have one. I do actually quite like this one. Why does... Okay, everything feels so much larger than it did in the game. Like, I'm looking at the one I built for Evolution 2, and it felt like I had tons of room to play around with. And yet here, everything feels massive in comparison. Okay, if I want to use that, what staff room do I want to use? This one is... No, I hate that one. Let's have a look. This is there a better staff room here? Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job keeping an eye on chat. Let me catch up a bit. I find every Jurassic World Evolution 3 map equally mid, to be honest. I really haven't given many of them a proper look, so... Isla Muerta versus Isla Tacaño, which do you prefer? Isla Tacaño over Isla Muerta, but Isla Muerta East over Isla Tacaño. Yeah, I missed the paleobotany stuff, Goofy Goof. I got that DFW hatchery blueprint too in the game. I'm shocked that they didn't give us DFW prefabs. And hello, Octavel Gecko. And yes, I am a bit surprised that they got rid of the DFW pattern. Well, hello. This looks familiar. Ah ha ha, ah ha ha, ha ha. Friends, this looks awfully familiar. I believe I've seen this somewhere before. My DIN design style is pretty clear cut. Who are you? Deep Lake Gaming. You are getting downvoted. And blocked. For that, you cunt. Fucking steal my fucking building. How dare you? Cheeky sod. Bit too bland, that one. Ooh. Oh, I see. So this guy has done a lot of this style. I mean, I kind of like it, but I also don't. I don't like how Apple it is, but I do also kind of like how modern it is. But we won't use that one. Swimming pools for staff. Running a holiday camp, you know. Boring. What is... Oh, I see. They've tried to make it look like it's like staff housing. That's... I kind of like that, not gonna lie. I kind of like the feel of that. But it is a bit large, but I kind of like the motivation behind that. Why? Why? I just wanted to put it down because I'm looking at... I don't like the way this workshop's been implemented. It's like I have to keep resetting it every single time. I can't just keep placing shit down until I find one I like. Kind of... People who steal blueprints on Evolution 3 are the lowest of the low, in my opinion. I don't see any need to steal blueprints and upload them as your own without any changes whatsoever. Let's talk about this one. What in God's green... There's one thing I can say for modular building and its implementation in this game. It's certainly... Let's say how very British. It certainly allowed people to demonstrate their artistic for want of a better term, artistic style. There are quite clearly some better ideas. Fletcher, would you like it if Frontier adds I have never heard of that creature, Jeb. Congratulations, you have exposed me to an animal whose name I do not know. Seriously, am I just going to have to look up the FW again? Okay, when it comes to the staff center, no one has rebuilt the DFW staff room. That's as close as we have it. That's disappointing. What am I to build? Ability to swap between complex building and simple building, or have lagoon brushes. Lagoon brushes. Easily lagoon brushes. Ugh, too bland. Exactly the same as the base game. You've just smooshed everything together into one building. Okay, this is one of my biggest bugbears with Evolution 3. And it might be like a really weird one for me to comment on. I absolutely hate people that want to smoosh together every single building. And I completely understand why. I mean, I built my own building, which is like 2 buildings in one. But when they don't try to make it look remotely functional, where they are just like, oh, I'm just gonna squish everything together, and it's like this no, at least put some effort into it, for heaven's sake. Make it look reasonable. I mean, it's a bit much for staff. Oh. It's kind of interesting. I feel like I could take that and modify it quite considerably. It's like a really, it's a very interesting like base shape. That wouldn't be too difficult to like radically overhaul. Ah. Now this feels suitably, this feels suitably facility-esque. This, okay. What page are we on? 7. Okay. Every bloody time. It's almost been a year since Evolution 3 launched and we still don't have a new lagoon species. No, which is just really bizarre to me you know, why would you just not even try? Because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like Frontier are not willing to do anything with the lagoon specifically, except the bear. Ah. Hmm. Okay. Except the bare, like, minimum standard. I think we have a winner. Okay, we do. We... One. No, not that one. This one. I really like this. This is very cool. Okay. So long you. So long you for now. I like this one. I think it makes sense to have the tower on this side, because obviously the fence is going to be on the other side of this, so... Why is that? Stop moving. It makes sense to have the staff room's tower kind of overlooking everything. And I actually really like this one pretty much as is. I think we'll have to do a little bit of modification because I think it's a little blandly colored, and I think the control tower could do with being a little taller on the glass. I think we need another level above that. That looks a little tight if you're a human being to get into. I quite like the training room interior. That's a nice touch. Yeah, overall, I really like this. I see. We can do a little bit better on the sign as well. And it's all in one group as well. Good egg. Right. This we were going to do for our science center. I suppose... Let's see if there's any other good ones. Oh, actually... I feel like this should be somewhere. Perhaps not down on this level, although this is where we're going to have a load of terrestrial dinosaurs. So maybe it makes sense for it to be on. It is big, though. But maybe we could have it... Maybe we could have it over here. Let's at least have a look and see if there are any designs we like the look of first. Archelon will not return soon, I think, because of the juveniles and breeding. For Archelon, they would need to make an animal that can leave the lagoon. Yeah. Tylosaurus I was never a particularly big fan of, primarily because I didn't think Evolution 2's model was particularly very good. It's definitely... What do you mean, outside builder? Oh. Here we go. Here's someone who's broken their build. God. Ugh. Yeah, the Tylo I was not a particularly... Wow. God, I would not be wanting to work in there during a heatwave. Can you imagine it? You're working inside a greenhouse. Yeah, the Tylo I just didn't think was very good in Evolution 2. It was really wonky. It had really bad animation. Okay, kind of nice. Kind of simple. Kind of basic. Can we do something a little better than that? Mm. Interesting. Nice little Alpine style-y one. Tylo definitely needs a redesign. It needs to be just made to look more accurate, for want of a better term. Because the one in Evolution 2, the model was just awful. Hmm. Kind of cool. Good idea, at least. Not sure what they've done there. Oh, I see. This is like a abandoned-y style one. Interesting. Some really good ideas, but none that I'm seeing where I'm like, yes, this. Well, Nicholas, that's true for most, but Archelon would have laid eggs. And I'm going to assume that probably Novosaurus laid eggs. Wow. Kind of cool. It has a city feel to it, that's for sure. This is the book standard one. You haven't tried. Again, this like has another city feel to it, but it's way too big. Yeah, it could have been a nice attraction, Cairo. But alas, we lost it. Well, I mean, we lost it with Evolution 2. I like the little hexagonal thing on the roof. That's a nice touch. It's just a bit too brutalistic. The problem with Rebirth style is like it's nice, but it's too brutalistic. This one is another building that I feel like I could modify. I think this is by the same guy who built the viewing dome entrance I want. But this is like, I feel like I could modify this one. Although that looks very piece count heavy in there, Jesus. One might be the winner. because I'm not seeing many others that I... That's an interesting, like, just swap out the materials for something else to see what it looks like. And I actually quite like that. That looks quite good, actually. And another one. It is funny, like, even if you just take the base game buildings and just swap out materials, you can actually get something that looks pretty good. Too big. In base game. Hello, Polsky. You join at not a particularly exciting time, if I'm brutally honest, because I am attempting to look for an appropriate science center. Ooh. Kind of a bit much, but kind of cool. Oh. Oh, well, you know, Evo, if you're doing your city build and you're lurking, there are loads of pieces that I'm coming across here that's like, that would be really good for Evo's city build that I know that she was going to be working on. So, how's that one again? I think we'll get a place for Wyland where they can lay their eggs. That would be my suspicion, Rob. I don't imagine... Interesting. I don't imagine them, like, taking away the whole using the Rock Island thing. I just think... Ah... That's kind of nice. Okay. I think there's a couple here. I am going to have a look and just double check to see if anyone's made the DFW. Somebody has. Okay. We will make use of the DFW one, since that was the one I used in base game. But there's, you know, like I say, the aim is to sort of create a base, and then we're going to, over the years, modify. That's the plan. Though it feels like scaling is way off here, but... Let's see. If we were to put it in this back corner... I'm going to be really hard pressed to fit everything in. Scaling is definitely different in this game to what it was in Evolution 2. So is that all of the major buildings? We got the science center. Oh, we power plant. Well, the reason the power plant was there in the first game was to work as a hyperloop station. So maybe we'll just use a Hyperloop station. Which is located under... Yes? Yes. Hey, there's some interesting looking ones here. We just want the station. A Hyperloop station. That's kind of cute. Interesting style. One that says facility. Oh, Rob, don't be going and giving Frontier ideas. I don't think we want another pack of resold species. Safari. Okay, interesting. That's a shame. I kind of like that building, but that would require a lot of editing to make it work. Fabry. I just want Frontier to do something where I don't have to complain. It would be nice for Frontier to do something and it be the sort of thing where I'm like, yeah, everything is like fantastic about this. I have no problems with this at all. I really want for once, just for once, for them to do something which is like really, really good. I really would like to sort of get rid of this accusation that I'm always anti-Frontier and I hate Frontier and I'm always miserable and all the rest of it. No, I just have high standards, that's all. Well, I say high standards. I don't think they're high standards. I think they're bare minimum standards, but whatever. That's two. Hey, the round one is kind of sweet. Yeah, I wouldn't pay again for the insect feeder or Yay Helopterus. That certainly wouldn't. This was not too bad. Get rid of the InGen logo from it, perhaps. Oh, it's another of his. I do like that style. Just feels a little Apple-ish. See, this is the other problem with the workshop. Like, You think the workshop would actually make it easy to find something that you want, but actually it's almost the total opposite. You find stuff that's kind of close to what you want. But not quite. And then inevitably you end up probably just building modular building anyway. Ah. That is kind of more like it, actually. I'm happier with that. I quite like that. So let's plonk you down where you were roughly, which is roughly around here. I'm curious. Has someone actually rebuilt the FW style? One entirely? Oh no, we looked, didn't we? There's like some that were close, but none that were exact. That one is closer to the shape of the original, so I am going to plug this down. And I know there's a lot of space here, but there's a lot of actual like decoration and stuff to go in, so...
The park is opening and guests will be arriving shortly.
Okay. So we've got our science center, we've got our staff room, we've got 2 hatcheries, the ranger station, hyperloop station. I think that's the main things that were in here. Yes. Okay, good. We're going to take a short moment now to have a look up here. Because again, I want to put the lagoon structures in. Now, I can't. That's kind of the rough layout of where each bit was. Because the first lagoon didn't bump all the way up to that. It was 3 straight pieces. And naturally, getting it to be straight is going to be a pain in the side. So I reckon it was about there. That was 1. Oh. And then the next one over here basically was a straight line. This one's going to be tighter. Yes. So was that one. Not quite, because the actual shape of the maps are not the same as they were in Evolution 2. The maps have been changed in their shapes slightly. But this one I'm pretty sure was 4. Maybe it was 5. Sure it was there and there. And there was... yeah, this is... yeah. And then the lagoon hatcheries were one there. I haven't actually really done anything with the lagoons in this game because they did so much damage to the lagoons in the first place. Okay, so there was hatchery there. There was a hatchery here. And then there was a hatchery... Interesting. Here. And then we had a ranger station here. We had Hyperloop station there. There's a building here which looks like it's another science center. Oh, and the paleomedical facility was down here. Right, yeah, the paleomedical was here. Okay. Then the aviary at the top. Now the aviary at the top is a tricky one because it's kind of in the shape of a dinosaur footprint, oddly enough. We are going to use of the caged variety. So it looks like there was 2 at the back. One. That looks pretty much what it was. If anything, I think it could be moved across a little bit. Yeah. Much better. Right. Can I squeeze an extra... I can on that side, but not on the other side. I'll leave it as it is for now. I understand how you feel, Polsky. Trust me. Okay, let's now... I think what we can do now is get started on figuring out the edge of this area here. So I do want it to be proper concrete. I want it to look substantial. Now, are these too much? Are a little much. But these I don't think are good enough. Okay. Where is our concrete? One, concrete two. Two has the sloped bits, right? They're in concrete 3 as well. How high would it be to match that? Okay. We'd have to put something on top, but I reckon this would work. Because the only problem is getting it in line. Corner piece. That's not a corner piece. Hang on. That. Yes. Whoops. There is a lot of stuff the Frontier could, should have done. I do think we should how do we how do we turn it that way? That might just have to be a flat wall. Okay. Just okay. Is that as close as I can get to the edge as I possibly can? Pretty much. Okay, that's not too sad. To put on the top. Oh, that's... Ah. Something like that. This is mostly just me sort of figuring things out at the moment. I do kind of like that. I think that's an appropriate angle. I don't think... I mean, what's the, Big Al, I have to say, you're being particularly antagonistic. Everyone is entitled to their opinions about Evolution 3, even if you're not somebody who engages in the conversation. Please don't be rude to people who do have opinions. Alright. Yeah, okay, something like that. Something like that I'm reasonably happy with. But I think what we'll actually do is start over here. Because this area I think is the one where I want to focus for now. Is with the Rangers. Because I have a vision. Of a dam here. Like water going up to the edge. We'll have like a little island here. A proper concrete dam or something here. I have to edit this. So let's get rid of these rocks. Interesting. All non-gridded. I think I have to use these pieces. The actual damn ones are just enormous. You know what would really help is if I feel like the fact that this game has gridded and non-gridded pieces, I feel like we should just be able to turn it on and off. Like, if we could have the option to turn off and on whether something was gridded or not, just choose for ourselves, I think it would be so beneficial. Let's now level that out there. There we go. Why is this water brush so big? Obviously, we're going to have to put a that. Let's just start with brick for the time being. Concrete. Oh, these are all individually placed, aren't they? Yes. It's very rustic, but we want it to be a little less rustic and a little bit more facility. Whoops. They should hire Kaya Denick. Ah, I mean, he did go. He did try to get a job with them, and they turned him down. I mean, but honestly, I'm kind of glad they did. Kaya Denick is the sort of chap that I think would be ruined by a modern video game company. He's the kind of person who obviously has a lot of passion and a lot of drive to make something better for everybody, as opposed to, you know, stockholders and shareholders and people that just care about money. And I think Kaya Denick would be ruined by a company like Frontier. For the moment, that is acceptable. Just wanted to clear some of the area. Although, you know what is not acceptable? You do not have trees this tall around where a helicopter is. It's just not the way it's done. Why can't I grab this one tree here? Is this tree not... Hang on. Is this tree not... I see. Some of those were things I put down. Don't I look like a moron? Okay, good. Now I can see what is here. Rocks. We'll still keep this in here. So we want rocks. And we wanna just fill this in. Yeah. Okay. This whole ranger station is going to be redesigned. I think we need something. Banisters, maybe? Or, let's, I think I saved. Are they in here somewhere? I think I saved, like, the dam structures from the Rebirth map, because I thought they were a good, like, basis to go off. Okay. Very substantial structure. Right, I see. I think we need some, like, water coming out of the bottom of this. Maybe we should, like, concrete the base of this. We need to get the water a little bit more. That's better. And then I saw, I was watching a video by somebody today, and they used, is it this one? think it was this one. But we'll use this one because I think this one is better. But what they did was they used it like this to make like a ramp. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I actually think maybe if we make the angle a little less steep, so we get a little bit more of the concrete there. I actually quite like the idea that there is a bit of some concrete exposed, so I'm gonna go with that. We're gonna go on there, on there. Yeah, I really like how that looks. Bye-bye, Big Al. I don't see an evolution 4 happening. I just don't think there's enough to warrant an evolution 4. Like, what could they possibly do to make it worthwhile having? Because I don't think something like Cenozoics is remotely enough. I don't think Cenozoics on their own are enough to warrant a new evolution. Future creatures like the primeval style. I mean, they were pretty cool, weren't they? In fact, I literally have just the last time I went shopping, I found all of the primevals on DVD for dead cheap. So at some point, probably when I'm finished with the walking with dinosaurs thing, I am probably going to do a primeval retrospective. I do want there to be some sort of vent here. Just provides a little bit of extra water, I guess. Do we have something that could pass for a dam's vent? It needs to be made of metal. That sort of thing. Does that work? Like, if we line the entirety of each thing with these, do they work? I think they do, you know? I have to adjust this one down a bit. There we go. Wow, look at that popping. Christ. I think it works. Says Cenozoic, or you mean mammals? Well, I guess. See, the way I see it is that if they were going to use Cenozoics as a way of making Evolution 4 worth it, it's going to be the obvious things like the mammals. It's going to be the saber-toothed tiger. Sorry, that's a mistake. It's going to be the saber-toothed cat. It is going to be the mammoth. It is going to be the woolly rhino. So I say Cenozoics, but what they would probably do is the prehistoric mammals. But ultimately, I just don't think that prehistoric mammals are a big enough draw to make, because, you know, I've said this time and time again. I said it last week when I was referring to some of the kickbacks that I got about my comments about the selling of species. Species will not improve the game. Species do not improve the game. It is everything else the game desperately needs. Not that new species are a bad thing, it's just they're not the be-all and end-all that I think a lot of people consider them to be. I think this would look better if these were darker. I'm pretty happy with how that fucking works. I'm pretty happy with that. And honestly, these big wall pieces, like being able to just do something like that with like 3 chunks of wall as opposed to, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces instead. Like, those wall pieces are so useful. People are always waffling about new lagoon species. Well, how about we focus on lagoon rework? Well, yeah, exactly, Corey. That's why in my video that is probably going to end up coming out before the Walking with Dinosaurs one, like, I focused on reworking the lagoons entirely. Just thinking how I want to design the rest of this area here. It really is annoying that you cannot get water right up to the edge. I think along this edge, we'll use some more of the dam pieces. Just lay them down. Problem is, it's got that weird little hump there. They all do. So maybe we'll just have to stick in some concrete walls. Reasonably straight. I think, yeah, I think about there. So 2 out. Well, okay. Out 2 out. Honestly, Polsky, I mean, that sort of thing would be very nice to have. I'm not going to spoil anything of what I'm doing for my Goon DLC yet. But I've put in a few of the basic things that I think people would like. By the way, I'm sorry if this is not particularly exciting. Unfortunately, starting a new sandbox map, or starting a new map is not particularly exciting. Although this won't be a map that we do every single time, because like obviously the aim of this is that it's for me to do species testing. So it's not really something that we're going to be focused on as much as a new sandbox map. That's going to be something else entirely. But at the moment, I haven't decided what I want to do for a new sandbox build. Just because the Norway build really did demonstrate to me that you really do have to use modular building if you want to get the most out of the game. And so if I'm going to do that, then I want to be able to actually have a good quality idea. And that's the thing, having a good quality idea is tricky. Because I'm not really like Evo. I can't really build just like predominantly wildlife parks. That's not my style of building. I like to build parks, zoos, not predominantly wildlife. So I think that's too thick for a column. I think I want to go with something thinner. Oh, here we go. So let's duplicate, and then we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy accident. Those aren't deep enough. Okay, so what if he sank them down and put something on the top? That's better. Rocks to the rescue. Rocks. Rocks. The thing to cover up any particular mistake made in Evolution 3. Had a simple column on top. It's like a little... Rob, you're quite a substantial modular builder. What would you do on to put on top of these little concrete hedgehogs here? What would you put on them? Maybe we should kind of copy what's going on here and use pipes. Have like a pipe running across the top. I've also got to figure out how to line the edges of the ramps. That's going to be a pain, I think. Bye-bye, Kyrie. Thank you for popping in. After that, that's literally... I'm going to have to do the down ramps then. It's really kind of you to ask, but unfortunately I'm pretty bad at that sort of thing. I almost never build anything from scratch. I just mostly modify other people's blueprints. Oh, I'm sorry to put you on the spot then, Rob. Do we have a non-gridded... Please tell me we have a non-gridded... We do. Why is it so small? I don't understand why they only offer non-gridded pieces in a smaller size. That's never made sense to me. Okay, so... That's level to there. What is the angle on this, do we think? Yeah, that's not far off. That is not far off at all. Let me adjust a little bit up. That's maybe too much. It needs to be somewhere in between. Let's try that. Nope. Configurations. Okay, let's try that. You know what? I think I'll take that. Not bad at all, I think. The problem I then have is these, because obviously I can't use these all the way along, can I? No, I don't want to do that. I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to end the angled concrete. Emergency lighting, that's a good idea, Basti. You miss the Mediterranean style maps. I am personally just a little bit puzzled that we don't have more of the old games maps. Because I think that would be a bit of a winner with the community. Like if the community just like turned around and was like, if they just turned around and was like, yeah, we're aware some of you aren't particularly happy about the reselling of species, and we're aware that there's some stuff other people aren't happy about. So here's a bunch of the old games maps that we've upgraded for you to use. I can't help but think people would be pretty happy. So tell you what, I'd take a remake of Isla Tacaño over another fucking animal any month. And honestly, I kind of think it would have been better for them as well to have played it like that. Like, I would have said to the community, every month you'll get either a new species or a new map. Because then you could edge out the species returning to the game for longer, which means you'd have more time to, do stuff with them. And I think it would keep the hype for the game fresher. Because at the moment, like, yeah, we're all happy when a new animal comes back, but it's just kind of the same thing over and over. Whereas if you had something else to offer every month, like, I think the hype would feel fresher for the hype. If you know what I mean. I'm probably not explaining it very well. If you had something else to offer, I think people would be more excited. For a lot of people, I don't think new animals do it anymore. Okay, I'm kind of digging this fortification method. I mean, whenever I play an RTS game, I am a bit of a turtle player, so maybe that's why I'm digging it. San Albertus Multimapus Peak. I don't like the new one. San Albertus, the biggest one, right? Because the San Albertus, that the one I can't pronounce, the Santa Digidius Island, and there was the Natural Lagoon one, right? Whose map I cannot remember for the life of me. We'll have to figure out what to do here. I just want to get the layout of this kind of done, because once you get the rough layout, then everything else is a lot easier. This was about that. Another one. The mod scene is so dead. Is it? I actually haven't been like following how modding is going for this game, but I'm going to assume that the incident, and I say that in the way that a head teacher would go, there has been an incident. I assume the incident with what happened with the makers of the tools and stuff has kind of damaged the modding scene. What has happened there? I think what I'm going to have to do is like properly flatten this out, and then that's I smoothed that too much. Getting the terrain to do what you want is, I find, the hardest thing about this game. I'm accepting of that. I say the mod scene is alive and kicking. So many new things, not only skins. Interesting. I mean, like I said to people, I won't be modding Evolution 3. My personal opinion is Evolution 3 does not need mods. We have all of the tools and stuff we wanted now. I don't think it requires mod tools anymore. Yeah. I have no idea what to do with these concrete pieces along the side where the dinosaurs are going to come out. Maybe put up like some proper security fencing and... Colorable rocks, invisible feeders, invisible aviary. Free build mod is a must. I find it really bizarre that even with everything we've gotten, free build mod still feels like a necessity. I feel like that alone just really highlights the really... I'm not going to say lackluster way, but the way that they've implemented modular building and it not being the way that we thought it would be. Okay, what the heck do we do with the corner? Because obviously... yeah, that's that corner. That's... oh, that's slightly out. That is ever so slightly out. So I'm gonna have to... this could be fun. I've also just realized somewhere around here we need to provide an area for the rangers to... I will probably have that over here if I'm honest. Let's duplicate that up. Triangle floor in the corner. Maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe just... These need to be... Hmm. We have a... I don't mind that. That. I think that looks pretty decent. There's a lot of space on these concrete keys that need to be decorated, but I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Since we've only got about 10 minutes left, I'm going to take a look at this because I like this building, but I do not like some of the choices about the tower and the back. I don't mind the back of the building. I don't mind this part of it. But I don't like this. I don't like the way they've done this tower. Oh, the tower hides the water thing. That's very clever. Very clever. Okay. I want the tower to look distinctive. I also feel that the tower is way too short. So I think we'll take the roof off a bit as well. We'll get rid of this and this. I like having a see-through tower, but just provides something else that you have to waste piece count on. So glass. There was some... Hang on a minute. I'm sure there was some rebirth glass, wasn't there? Maybe it was under roofs? There was, I'm sure there was some rebirth expansion, like, glass pieces that we got. Maybe it was on the gantries? These is what I... Oh, they're non-gridded. Harder to do than I suspected. Hold up a minute. Why is he... Why has this particular individual used so many of these? All you need to do is grab one of the long ones. So 1.4. 1.4. This is actually like a big bugbear of mine, where people use a million pieces when one or two would do. Piece count is important. Don't waste it. If you can do the thing you want to do with 2 pieces and not 6, do it in 2. Much better. Right. Where were they? These. Right. It's probably going to be an idea to start with the corners, I should think. Placeable water is something I desperately want. Like, I want placeable cubes of water. Like, just a rectangle of their water texture so that we can make our own, like, aquariums and stuff. Because now we have the transparent glass. Like, it's stuff like that that we need to make best use of the transparent glass. I wonder how many of these will actually need. Interesting. The tower is not quite regulation size. Ever so slightly. Duplicaten. The Lord of Modular Pieces, the two towers. Fletcher, I just don't know why you never want to secure your terrain with flattening foundation floor pieces. Because I know what will happen. I will place them down, and then I'll forget about them, and my map will just be covered in flattened foundation flooring pieces. It'll just... I just prefer not to use them for that purpose. At least for the moment. I did see that the guy I was watching today who showed me the little trick about the dam pieces. He did that with his map, and I was like, I understand why people do it, but I would just be forever forgetting. Okay, I'm gonna have to move these in slightly as well. Don't necessarily mind, because that piece of metal works as a good trim. Do you have to fill in the top thing? Ah, but that's what this is for. No, I don't necessarily mind it being a little raised. I think that's a much better, more human-sized tower. Definitely. Well, it is 11 o'clock, and we've come to the end of the stream. I accept we haven't got that much done. But like I say, this is a park that will be gradually built up with, you know, new modular buildings put in where we currently have presets. This one is definitely going to stay, though. I really like this building. I just think it's a great little staff center. Gonna add a few things to it, but great little staff center. And I'm really liking our little dam that we have going on here. I will be back on Sunday, where we will probably be carrying on with the Badlands Park. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, the usual YouTube stuff. And I will see you on Sunday. Until then, stay safe and good night.